Well, guys, I did a thing. You like my new shirt? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Holy cow, I have had an absolutely wild weekend. It has been bananas. Long story short, I went to Blade Show West. Short story long, you're about to watch a video of that adventure, and holy cow, an adventure it was. We went 2,000 miles across 3 states. We're going to be talking geology, scenery, dinosaurs, knives, awesome people we met, fighting homeless people. Yes, that actually happens in this video. It is wild. We're talking nuts to butts action the whole way through. I have not begun editing yet. I imagine it's going to be a gargantuan task, but I think this is going to be one of the most insane videos the channel has ever seen, and I hope you guys enjoy it. This is going to be a doozy, so buckle up. Now, this video is kind of a vlog of the 4 days that I spent going to and from Salt Lake City for Blade Show. I will be making a second video, because, you know, got to get as many videos out of this as I can. I'll be making a second video focusing purely on the knife stuff, because I know not all of you are interested in seeing me climb rocks and talk about dinosaurs and things like that. So we'll be making a second video discussing only the knives and the people that I met at Blade Show and all the things I learned and experienced as far as the knife world is concerned. So keep an eye out for that video. That will be coming soon-ish, maybe a week after this one, if I'm able to get this video edited up within a timely manner. And for those of you wondering, there is still going to be quite a bit of knife content in this video, but I will be adding extra commentary and stuff to that second video, so, you know, that'll be worth watching as well. Okay, I'm going to stop wasting time. Let's just get into it. Well, guys, today starts my journey to Blade Show. So first, though, I gotta go to work. I just woke up, gotta go to work, and then this afternoon, we're going to drive 6 hours to my parents' place, stay there for the night, and then finish the trip to Utah the next day. This is currently Thursday, October 3rd. And, of course, the journey to Blade Show starts with the beautification process, right? I got to look my best for Blade Show, not work, obviously. I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but I actually cut my own hair. So I did that last night. Today we're just going to try to kind of, I don't know, whip it into shape here somewhat, if that's even possible. It's going to be a really, really long day. Now, as soon as I decided that I was going to Blade Show this year, I thought, you know what, it'd be awesome to make a vlog about the entire experience. And technically, the journey to Blade Show started a couple weeks ago, and part of that journey has been saving the money for this trip. And so I was going to document my past week of eating nothing but quesadillas and ramen, but I decided that would be pretty boring. All right, guys, work is over. Got to close up the museum, and then I'm hitting the road. Going to be a long drive. Not going to be getting into my parents' place until pretty late tonight, but I'm really, really excited. Just got to kiss all the specimens goodnight. Good night, Mo. That's our mosasaur. He's a prognathodon. Good night, Borealis. It's our baby mammoth. Good night, Sid. He's a giant ground sloth. You ever seen Ice Age? Good movie. First one's awesome. They get progressively worse from there. I've got some fun moments, but man, those movies sure took a really weird turn. Am I going to throw this into my Gideon Stuff Adventures playlist? Is this a Gideon Stuff adventure? Why not? I think it absolutely is. So this is probably going to be a Gideon Stuff adventure video. that's awesome. I'm excited about that. Now, this was probably going to be a much more adventure-y video, but plans did kind of change a little bit. For the better, okay? We are going to have 2 special guests going with me to Blade Show. And I'm not going to tell you who they are right now, but I'm going to be meeting up with them in the morning. So, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. My original plan was to really just raw dog this trip, and I'd be camping and stuff. I want to go and do some hiking. Utah is my 2nd or 3rd favorite state. It and Colorado are kind of competing for that position. I love the national parks. I love the scenery up in Utah, and so I really want to go and do some hiking and stuff. Not sure if we'll get a chance to do that this trip, just because it's going to be pretty fast and dirty, but I would love to do that. Absolutely love to do that, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of that in here. Geology is probably going to be a little bit light in this video. Some of you might think that's a great thing. I'm going to be a little bit sad. I will say today, so I'm driving 6 hours today to my parents' place. I'm going to be staying the night there and then doing the next 6 legs to Utah. 6 hours to Utah. I guess maybe 6 legs works in the morning. But today we're going to be staying entirely in the Rio Grande Rift. We're going to be driving on I-25 to Santa Fe and then hopping on to US Highway 285 from there. And we will be staying in the Rio Grande Rift the entire way. Tomorrow, we're going to be driving through the Rockies and hopping up out of the Rift and onto the Colorado Plateau, and then dropping down into the Basin and Range province in Salt Lake City. So we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of really cool stuff. We're going to be driving through some of my most favorite places in the world. It's going to be dark here pretty soon, so unfortunately tonight you're not going to get to see a whole lot of New Mexico scenery, but I'll try and get some of that on the way back. It's probably going to be a very long video, but hopefully it's a fun one. Okay guys, I made it home. It is currently 1:30 in the morning. I'm going to try and sneak into the house without waking my family up. Something occurred to me. This is the first time that I have been in my hometown in October in many years. And I used to absolutely love October up here. And I stepped outside, and of course it's nice and cold, right? We're up in the Rocky Mountains. But there's that smell that just always reminds me of fall. It's a mix of people burning wood in their stoves and the smell of aspen trees, and it's good, it's crisp. And I also always forget how many stars you can see at night up here. That's something I miss in the city, is you can't see the stars because of all the light pollution. But out here, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. Anyways, we got a long day tomorrow, so I am going to call it a night. Well, guys, it's the next morning. We're getting ready to head to Utah. Oh, look at the colors changing on that mountain. It's gorgeous. There's the goats way up on the hill. Alrighty guys, we're off to Utah. Remember I said that we were going to have a couple of special guests on this episode? Well, just one special guest. This is my youngest brother. He's going to go to Utah with us. So, let's hit the road, cowboy. So, the second guest who was going to come was going to be my cousin Austin. Now, longtime viewers of the channel know and love Austin. He's awesome. He's been in some pretty great videos that we've done. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, he was unable to come, and at the last minute, he dropped out. Huge shame. It would have been so cool to have him along on this adventure, but you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But don't you guys fear, I've got a video coming up that does feature Austin in it. It's another adventure video. It's going to be my collection of miscellaneous videos, or miscellaneous adventures video. So keep an eye out for that. He's in there, and it's pretty good. So right here, we're at the Brazos Overlook in the Tusas Mountains. That there, those are the Brazos Cliffs. Down in the valley there is Chama. And way out there, that uplift is going to be our Sierra Nacimiento. We're getting into the Colorado Plateau. We're officially out of the Rio Grande Rift, or at least we're kind of on its westernmost margin here in the Tusas Mountains. This is where I grew up. This is where he's still lucky enough to live.
Heck yeah.
Oh, it's always good coming home. And I'm so glad that we got to see the colors. I love seeing the colors change. But now we're going to be dropping down out of the Tusas Mountains. The Tusas Mountains are an extension kind of the San Juan Mountains, which are a sub-range of the Southern Rockies. So we're going to be going down through Chama, then we're going to be heading up into Colorado and west to Utah. Alrighty, crossing in to colorful Colorado. And you know what? It is colorful right now. It's not false advertising. I like it. So we're here in Durango now at an Ace Hardware getting a replacement light because I didn't tell the story yet, but I got a ticket last night, so I'll tell the story later. Let's get this, get some snacks, and get back on the road. It's still early in the morning, so we're doing good on time. Okay, now I gotta tell you about my ticket. So while I was coming through Powake, my driver's side headlight burned out. And I didn't notice because I was driving through town, there was lights everywhere and stuff, but there was an officer in town who did see it go out. And he saw it go out. So he pulls me over just outside town, and he asked me how far I'm going, and I still had, about an hour and a half to go. And he said, okay, well, because you're driving so far, I am going to give you a ticket. But if you can email proof that you got this issue solved before November 20th, we'll drop it. And I thought that was really chill of him. I was like, that's awesome. Thank you, man. That's a generous amount of time. And yeah, I appreciate that. So he let me go, and that was kind of that. As you guys saw, I got the issue fixed the next day. However, that's not the end of the story. I guess actually that kind of is the end of the story, but we need to go back to the beginning. Because it turns out the Pojoaque Pueblo Police Department and me have a long and storied history. And I kind of wish Austin was here to help me tell the story because he did participate in it, but I'm going to tell it without him. So when I was in high school, over the span of less than a year, 8 months, I got 3 tickets in Pojoaque. One was for speeding, one was because I had a light out on my license plate, and I cannot remember what the third one was, but there was a third. And the hilarious part is I was the same police officer that pulled me over every single time. So the third time I get pulled over, I've got Austin with me. Officer comes to the window, license, registration, please. And before the officer gets to the window, we're pulled over, and I turn to Austin and I say, bet you anything I know this guy. Bet you anything. He's like, what do you mean? I said, just trust me. So officer comes to the window, and he sees me, he's like, ugh. License and registration, please. That's why I'm getting it all together. And of course, I'm 17, 16 years old, however old I was. I'm a little piece of shit. So I'm just I think I'm so funny, right? And I tell him, officer, we got to stop meeting this way. And he says, I think that's kind of up to you. And anyways, I get the license registration. And I say, I'm starting to think that you just miss me. If you want to see me that bad, you can just ask for my number. He says, no need. I know everything about you, boy. I've got your registration and license memorized. And we had a kind of good laugh about that. It's one of the benefits about being a white guy, right? You can kind of joke around with the cops. Privilege. But anyways, I thought that was just funny. It's a funny little high school story. But it doesn't end there. Years later, when I get to college, I make this friend named Teresa, and she grew up in Española, and she actually went to school in Pojoaque. And so we kind of ran around the same places, we knew some of the same people, and so me, her, and this other guy, Luke, we became pretty good friends. And one day we're sitting around, shooting the breeze, exchanging stories, and I tell my Pojoaque story. And she says, I know an officer there in Pojoaque, my tío. His name is blank, blank, blank. And I said, oh my gosh, that's him. So we had a pretty good laugh about that. Holy cow, your tío wasn't pulling me over in high school. What a small world. Fast forward about a year and a half. And during the summer, Teresa invites me to a quinceañera for her niece. And so I go down there to that quinceañera, and I show up and head straight for the food first, right? Load me up a big bowl of menudo, and I'm standing against the wall, watching the party. Everyone's out dancing. If you've never had the opportunity to go to a quinceañera, you're missing out. So anyways, there I am, eating my menudo, and I look across the room, and there's that cop. And of course, he's in street clothes now, but I recognize him instantly. And so I kind of, raise my bowl as a toast to him. I kind of do this, and he kind of gives me this weird look, and I'm devastated. I'm like, oh my goodness, he doesn't recognize me. Oh no. I'm like, it has been quite a few years. The beard is new. I guess it's not that surprising, but I was disappointed. He didn't remember me. Well, later on that night, I'm leaving, getting ready to head home, and as I'm walking out the door, he stops me. And he looks me in the eyes, puts a hand on my shoulder. He says, drive safe, son. I don't have to pull you over. And gosh, I just lost it. Oh, I was laughing so hard. Oh, we had a good little laugh about that. But yeah, so that's my history with the Pojoaque Police Department. Old light out. New light installed. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to use this as my proof of that I fixed this. I'm going to use this video as that. Probably going to need both hands for this.
Use this as a tax write-off for your new light.
Use this as a tax write-off for my new light? You know, I wonder if I could get away with that. That'd be pretty fantastic. So right now we're driving into Mancos, Colorado. And I want to talk about this real quick because this town gives its name to one of the most ubiquitous rock units in the American West, the Mancos Shale. And when we were in Durango, most of the rocks that we were seeing out there were Cretaceous sedimentary rocks laid down by the Western Interior Seaway some 95 million years ago, plus or minus a little bit, including the Mancos Shale. The Mancos Shale is exposed all over the Western United States. It's down in southern New Mexico. I've seen it a lot. Worked with it quite a bit. It goes up north quite a ways. It's pretty prolific, and it's all named after this little town right here. And in fact, driving through here, we're seeing a lot of sandstones, probably the Dakota sandstones. Again, these are all Western Interior Seaway sediments. Alrighty, here we are in Utah. Or I guess, not quite, but kind of. Let's go! So Brigham and I, by the way, that's my little brother Brigham. No relation to Brigham Young University. I know we're in Utah, but no relation to that. Anyways, we decided to take a little bit of a detour because, of course, I like detours. And we're stopping here to explore Church Rock, which is something that I remember seeing as a kid on road trips a bunch and being just fascinated by it. And we always called it Fat Lady or Jabba the Hutt, but I guess it's called Church Rock. So we're going to take a look at that, and should be fun. So just like a lot of the stratigraphy that we're going to be seeing here in Utah, we can see several horizontal beds. Now these are probably Mesozoic sedimentary rocks, sandstone primarily. I'm not sure off the top of my head right now what formation we're looking at here, but probably Triassic. I was gonna say most likely Jurassic, but maybe Triassic to Jurassic. Some of the classic units out here include things like the Wingate sandstone, Moencopes out here, a few places, Kayenta, stuff like that. Oh my goodness, I almost fell in a hole. Yeah, here's a better look at the layers. We've had a rock fall here at some point. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at that. It's just pristine. I love the rocks out here in Utah. I absolutely love them. Yeah, I'm nerding out right now. So see these things here? These are sedimentary structures. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. These here are actually wind-blown sand dunes. So we can see, basically, this sandstone was deposited as a dune field. And we're seeing kind of concentric layering of these dunes over time. Look at that. Look at that. That's just, oh, that's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful foresets. Oh, it's gorgeous. People carving their names.
Gary and Julie left their mark.
Gary and Julie did leave their mark.
I guess it busted up the gates. Oh, look.
What?
Two cool lizards.
Oh yeah, look at them.
Lots of names in here.
Lots and lots of names.
And it looks like it's been homeless encampment.
Yeah, and I always thought this was a natural cave. It's not. This was dug and blasted. You can see the holes in the back. That's where they were putting charges down. Huh. That is something else.
Could have made this a little easier. Could have parked over there and walked on this ganger, but...
You think I want things to be easy?
Oh, I'm not fucking mad like you.
Well, yeah, I'm a nerd, so I had to come the long way. Now, I want to see if I can get on top of this thing. So I'm not sure if we're going to have time to stop by Arches National Park on this trip, so we're going to stop and look at Wilson Arch real quick. Arches is my favorite national park of all time, though. Fun fact. But I see we've got a geologic column here on this little sign, so let's go and read that. Yeah, so here's some info. You can pause and read that if you feel like it. The Entrada Sandstone. I can't remember if I listed that one when we were at Church Rock, but I should have. Entrada, the Navajo. I think I mentioned Navajo, Kayenta, Wingate, Chinlimo, and Kopi. We've seen these on different Gideon Stuff adventures, but yeah. Let's go up there and take a look.
It was a fun little climb, I will say. What if you cartwheel all the way down this thing?
Well, stay focus up, camera. There she is, Wilson Arch. You staying there?
No. You abandoned me in Salt Lake.
You want me to abandon you in Salt Lake?
Nah, actually.
I'd rather be abandoned out here. So this is going to be the end for day one. We are at Price Canyon. I've been here a few times in the past. I love it out here. You guys just got taking this view. This is where we're going to camp tonight, and then early tomorrow morning we're going to finish the last hour and a half or so into Salt Lake and attend Blade Show. Got some pizza and some sodas. It's going to be pretty good. Let's take in this view. Pretty close to the ultimate meal. Sodas, pizza, and some delicious prickly pear that we stole from Hole in the Wall on someone's recommendation.
My suggestion.
His suggestion. Yeah, I think it was a good suggestion. Alright guys, so I lied. Neither of us could get to sleep, so we decided, you know what? Let's just do the last hour and a half into Salt Lake. I mean, it was only like 7:30, so here we are in Provo right now. Just put some gas in, and we're gonna go find a different spot to camp. So I guess day one is not over yet. We'll see what we find. Alrighty. It's Saturday morning. We're gonna head down out of these mountains here out by Timpanogos. We're gonna go to the show. Let's do it. Really is beautiful up here. And yeah, I know we're in Utah, but gotta rep the home state, you know? What knife am I gonna carry to the show today? This was something I was thinking about all week. And you know what? I decided to carry my CGRB Shale. This is a new knife, but you know what? I'm absolutely loving it. And I think it's the right choice for today. So, let's go ahead and drive into town. All right, so we've got about an hour before the doors open, but Bergam and I decided to walk around Temple Square here in Salt Lake City. If you're gonna come to Utah, there's two things you gotta see. Arches, and we saw a couple of arches this trip, and Mormonland. So I guess we're checking it all off, right? Salt Lake is pretty busy today because not only is Blade Show this weekend, but this is also the LDS General Conference, which is where the leaders of the LDS Church get together and they speak to the members around the world. So it's quite busy here in downtown Salt Lake. In fact, right now we're actually standing behind the conference center for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Utah history is kind of fascinating with the Mormon conquest of the state. It's very, very interesting. Lots of neat little rabbit holes you can dive down on that topic for sure. So a little bit of a fun fact, I'm sure not many of you know this about me. I was actually born into the LDS Church, and though my relationship with the church is complicated these days, Mormons are lovely people, by and large. There's some stinkers out there. I ran into quite a few of them. I'll tell you a secret, most of the good ones don't live in Utah, but they are wonderful, wonderful people. They will give you the shirt off their back if you need it, if you ask. So.
Wait, does Mormonism have a flag? What is that flag?
That's the Utah state flag. They actually just redesigned it a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I love stuff like this. This little log cabin was built in 1847. This is the LDS Church History Museum. I'm sure they've got lots of interesting exhibits. And yeah, this little building is just sitting here in the middle of the much more advanced, I guess, rest of the city. It's kind of cool. That is pretty cool. I guess I should clarify, it wasn't built here, it was moved here later, but still the contrast. The contrast is what I find to be interesting. There's also UFC fight night tonight, so yeah, Salt Lake City is gonna be busy, I'll tell you what. I need to find out who drives this Silverado right here. Knife guy. Love it. And we've got the Tops Knives fan. I'm getting excited. Alrighty guys, we're starting with a brand that I've never featured on the channel before, and that's MKM and Viper. I gotta say, these are some gorgeous looking knives. I believe they do all their stuff in Italy. This is one that I've often almost purchased. Some kitchen knives. Wow. These fixed blades, I've been hearing a lot of good things about these. Ooh, I really like that blue titanium clip. That's pretty sweet. And these knives here, see this one, Bergam? I almost got Dad one of those for his birthday one year. It reminds me of something that he would like. What do you think?
That one knife, that really old knife, the handle?
The one that, yeah, absolutely. The one that he's been messing around with recently? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's some cool milling on that one right there, holy cow. All right guys, here we are at the Ramet booth. We've got some cool stuff. This knife here, I'm kind of digging. I love the weight and the size on this one. Fantastic action. Pretty cool grip. Don't idea what that one's called. Oh, this is going to be a long day, Bergam. We're going to be here forever. This thing is sweet. If Austin had been able to come, I could tell he'd be all over this one right here. A little bit slippery. This one is one that he'd like. Look at that. Holy cow. Not really my cup of tea, but pretty sweet. Oh my gosh, there's so much cool stuff. This is, I can't remember the name of this thing either, but it's a liner lock. I think it's actually with a button. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is so cool. Lightning Anno. Man, that's awesome. This thing is crazy. I like the green one. What on earth? I'm gonna have to ask them about this one. This one is nuts. Reminds me of a dinosaur, so of course I'm all about it. Bergham's giving me a goofy look right now. It's okay. Your brother's a nerd, right?
Yeah.
I'm not cool like you. I'm not a weightlifting in high school and all that. Is this a new model?
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet. That one's
awesome.
The catch.
The catch? Cool, cool. Oh, I love the jimping on that one right there. That's fantastic. There's some more of these Militas.
Also, look at this little, I like its magnet. Look at this little fixie.
Perfect
Oh
size.
my gosh.
That's really nice.
Good size to do the job. Small enough not to scrape
Oh.
the crap out of your
This might be the knife I buy.
Only
work.
40?
Indeed.
That's really
You
good.
do. That's D2, 154
Ooh,
CM.
I love that thing. If it's still here when we come back, that might be what I take. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is the mini. Good golly.
Yes.
It's like the Midas Touch version.
It's my current work knife.
Oh my gosh. Tempting. Holy cow. Tempting. Here's some small Militas. Old Tonto guy would probably like this one. You've got that red and black G10 inlay. The Ultim. It's pretty awesome.
Plus, the designer's a good guy. I met him in Atlanta at Blade Show Atlanta.
Those are cool.
This is
Pretty sweet. Oh, and mini Momos. Ooh. These are pretty sweet. Okay, I got another question too. Obviously, you guys have someone at the company who is a dinosaur nut. I'm kind of a dinosaur nut. Who is it?
It's UA.
UA?
Owner, engineer,
Okay.
and all that. Yeah.
Awesome. Very
We've
cool.
got, of course, the Ankylo. Now you can, or Ankylo, however you say
Yeah.
it. Now you can tell me how to say the other one.
The Telururus?
Yes.
There you go.
I can never get that one.
That one's a mouth twister.
Telururus.
Very cool. Yeah, this Ankylo is something else,
Yes.
man.
So we have our blue, gray, and orange. Those are 135. They're LMAX. And the green is 154 CM. It's 103.
Very cool. These things feel absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just showing the light.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with those.
So here we are at the Olamic booth, and this is actually probably the prettiest knife I've seen today. I love this. I have no idea what this material is. I'm gonna have to ask. Compound ground S90V blade. Man, that is some awesome stuff. Yeah, we didn't spend enough time looking at these the first time around. That's pretty badass. I know people are up in arms about the price, but these things are pretty sweet. Oh, that is nasty. Love the liners, by the way. Cold Steel doesn't do very many liner locks, but when they do, they absolutely nail the lock bar access. Guys, I will be getting one of these soon, I promise. Well, we just got out of the show. There was so much to take in. I have so much footage. Oh my goodness. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. it's been, I'm not functioning. I tried to steal a knife from said Stevie. Kind of. I'll tell the story later. It's funny.
Together or?
Yeah, together for sure. The more the merrier. We got Mattisfaction and we've got said Stevie, the man, the myth, the legends. All right, so.
I'm the myth, he's the legend.
Okay, here's the myth, here's the legend. Awesome. I tried to steal a knife from the myth. That didn't work out too well because the legend came to get me. Man, what a day. Got to talk to some amazing people. Again, I have so much footage to try and edit through and stuff. I'm not sure what this video is going to look like. But it was amazing. We've met some great people. And honestly, the people were the highlight rather than the knives. I talked to some amazing, amazing people. A lot of them probably aren't going to be on video. But I got to talk to some of my all-time favorite knife designers. Such as Richard Rogers, Brian Nadeau, Serge Panchenko. Him and I had an amazing conversation about his little goofy, I can't remember what that knife is called, but oh my gosh, I was just having so much fun talking to people that I did not film the majority of the conversation. In fact, I don't think I filmed any of the conversations I had with like some of the smaller makers, but I had some great conversations with some people. And while I was doing that, nerding out about knives and talking to some awesome people, this guy was running around the show just collecting loot. Show them everything you got. Everything.
I got a free hat.
So I didn't even go over to the case table. I didn't even make my way over there. I did not see everything. But while I was talking, I think it was while I was talking to the artisan people or something.
Yeah.
He runs off, he comes back, and he's like, the case guys gave me a free hat.
And I got about 25 to 30 stickers. Those are going somewhere. And mouse pad.
The NAF's mouse pad. I got one of those too. They came and gave those out to us while we were in line this morning. And the Hogue guys, who were awesome, gave me a disassembly mat. And they saw that I was with Brigham, but he ran ahead. And so they gave me a disassembly mat for Brigham too. If you don't want this, it might go to someone. We might use it for a giveaway. And then I got some stickers, some booklets. There's my mouse pad. And I bought 2 knives. So we should probably show the knives off because, oh my goodness, there's just, oh. And we got free bracelets, some lanyard stuff. All kinds of loot. Let me show you the knives I got. Well, actually, more important than the knives are actually all of the cards that I got for all kinds of different makers and stuff. I mean, there's really good info here. Again, talk to some amazing people. I got some stickers of my own. And, you know, pamphlets and all kinds of things. Got a Tops catalog. We got some awesome stuff. But let's go ahead and get into the knives. I got a free shirt from Civivi, which was pretty cool. I got to talk to, at the Civivi booth, just briefly, Taylor Martin. I razzed him a little bit about Ozark Trail knives. As well as Zach in the Wild. It was kind of cool. Where the heck did I put those knives? Oh, here they are. Okay. I'm all over the place. All right, let's talk about knives. We drove quite a ways away from the Salt Palace place because we're going to go do something else after this. But real quick, let's go over the knives. So the first knife I got was a Kaiser. I really enjoyed the talk I had with Dave over there. Cool guy. Here's the knife that I got. I told him I was going to buy a knife, and indeed I came back and I did. It's a Militaw. It's one of the budget-friendly Militaws. Really enjoying it. It was really torn between a full-size Militaw and a small one. I'm glad I went with the full-size. This thing is pretty sweet. I'm going to enjoy carrying this quite a bit. Nitro V. And these scales, when I was picking it, there's 2 guys that were kind of helping me with the order. And one guy said, you know, choose whichever one you want. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to do these ones. I picked it up. I said with the, you know, the gummy worm handles. You know, just kind of joking around. The one guy there was like, it's called Mascus, which was kind of funny to me. But yeah, so there we got that knife. It's pretty awesome. The other knife we got was a Civivi, or is a Civivi, or whatever. And this is a Civivi that I've had my eye on for a while, and they had it for like 70% off at the show, and I decided, you know what, we're gonna grab that. That is the Synergy 3. This is an O Young design. This one's not an integral like the original is. Crown spine, love that drop point blade. Liner lock. For some reason, these things were like $100 from Civivi. I don't know why they did it that way. Or heck, I think these were even like 120, something like that. Anyways, this thing is pretty darn sweet. So, there's what I got. We will go over this stuff more in depth later. But right now, let's go to a museum. Change of plans. We ended up not going to a museum today because, number one, by the time I got out of the show, the Utah Natural History Museum there in Salt Lake City was about to close. That is the second time I've tried to go to that museum and it's been closed. But then we decided to go to the, what's it called? The Mountain American Ancient Life Museum of Thanksgiving Point there in Lehigh. And I've been there before. Great museum. I like it a whole lot, but holy cow. It's pricey, and also we could not find parking. We eventually did find parking, but by the time I did, I was like, I'm just done with everything to do with this place. So we're here at a Taco Bell now in Spanish Fork, getting ready to head back. Tomorrow we'll probably stop by a museum. We're going to visit our grandparents on our mom's side in Grand Junction tomorrow. So we might stop by one of my favorite dinosaur museums, the Journey Through Time in Fruita. Yeah, technically our grandparents live in Loma, but Grand Junction area. So it's been a day. I want to talk about that coin that you have. So, see it? Brigham got this little challenge coin from the Boker people. We're there at the table, and or at the booth, and I'm looking at the knives, and I'm kind of talking to the lady who's there, and he just kind of, what was this, like sitting?
Yeah, I just glanced at it and picked it up to look at it a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm talking to this lady, he just picks it up, just kind of looking at it, and she's like, oh, do you want that? You can have that. Which was kind of funny. I didn't see any other ones there, it was just this one here. I need to start bringing along cute little boys more so I get more free stuff. What do you think about that? Oh, by the way, they had some pretty cool stuff there at the Boker table. I almost bought a Boker knife, but I didn't. It was that big, huge rescue knife we were looking at. I almost bought that. I thought that thing was really cool.
A lot of the Boker stuff is cool.
Yeah, Boker, I need to review more Boker knives. In fact, I think I've only ever reviewed one. Yeah, I do need to take a look at more Bokers. Alrighty, guys. Sunday morning, day whatever this is. We're near Fruita, Colorado. Beautiful, beautiful morning. And to warm up today, we're going to go ahead and just do this little hike. This is the Fruita Paleo Loop. I think this is going to be pretty fun. We should see some interesting things along the way. And it looks like there's going to be markers all over the place, so I don't even have to try to explain all the geology freehand. We should just be able to go. We are going to be walking through primarily Jurassic rocks. I know that much. Oh yeah, look at this.
Was he feathery?
I'm not sure. Adding this much feathering to an Allosaurus is a bold choice by the artist. This is a Ceratosaurus, I believe. This guy looks kind of retro, and this guy looks kind of new. I don't know, interesting. The art styles are kind of different. Oh, that's his arm right there. I was going to say, where the heck is his arm? I thought that was his foot. Yeah, the Fruita Paleontological Area preserves a greater diversity of prehistoric life from the late Jurassic period than any other known place on Earth. This small 1/2 square mile area has produced a wide variety of fossil animals. I'm pretty sure out here is a quarry where they found Fruitidins. I'm not sure, though. There's some more info if you want to read up on that. Let's go ahead and get going. Out there are the cliffs of the Colorado Monument, which is gorgeous. I do love this part of Colorado quite a bit. Both from a geologic slash paleontologic viewpoint and just a scenery viewpoint. Look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, this is really cool. So what this is talking about is out here we have this wash. In New Mexico we call these arroyos, but we've got this wash and we're eroding down through these hills. And so this white rock that's exposed at the bottom is actually the sedimentary remains of an ancient river, a river that flowed during the Jurassic. They call this the Ceratosaurus River Channel. We see these sandstones here as well. Very cool. All right, so here we are at the river. Sandstone that was deposited during the Jurassic. More of that sandstone deposited during the Jurassic. When you're looking at sedimentary rocks, you have primary and secondary structures. Your primary structures are also called depositional structures, which is going to be patterns and textures, I guess you could call them, formed when the rock was being deposited. So in the case of rivers, you'll see ripples. You can see like mud cracks on floodplains, things like that would be your primary features. And then secondary features are erosional features. So right here we can see that this is being eroded. And see these kind of like cracks and kind of right there you see this looks like a little bit wavy. That's erosion. That's water flowing over this in the present, eating the rock away. So it's a different thing. Okay, so here's some more info. Feel free to pause and read that. Brigham was pretty impressed with this little guy. Here is the skull of a Ceratosaurus that was excavated from this area. Excavated, I said excavated like an idiot. Excavated from the area, and that's what gave this Ceratosaurus River Channel its name. This was a smaller theropod dinosaur in the Jurassic. Very cool. Oh yeah, these are awesome illustrations. There's Frutodens. This was, still is one of my favorite dinosaurs. But I remember when it was discovered, I was just ecstatic. Camarasaurus, classic. Stegosaurus. A lot of these are classic North American dinosaurs. The Jurassic is where a lot of our most favorite dinosaurs come from. Probably not the most favorites. The most favorites probably come from the Cretaceous, Triceratops, T-Rex, things like that. But yeah, these are really good illustrations. I love these.
Tree lizard.
Yep, Dryosaurus. All right.
Wait, why wasn't this guy on the tiny? Because you could have put him in place of the 8-foot long, and the 8-foot long would have gone here. Because 8 feels like it's more of a small dinosaur, and
not a
2
tiny.
feels like it's more of a tiny.
I agree. They should put you in charge of making the signs.
He's cute though. I like this guy.
Me too.
Why does he have a mohawk?
He's got tail quills. That's a
hedgehog, porcupine.
That's a trait that a lot of ornithischian dinosaurs probably had. So this little plaque was making me laugh quite a bit because I recently finished filming and editing a video that you guys have not seen yet. It's another Gideon Stuff adventure video where I climbed this mountain called Bishop's Cap. And in that video, I talk a lot about cap rocks, cliff forming units, slope forming units, and that's what this is all about right here. So you can pause and read that if you want to, but TLDR is sandstone is more resistant to erosion than mudstone and shale, and the sandstone is going to form these cliffs while the mudstone and shale kind of erodes into these slopes. And you'll see that this block right here fell off from there as the shale underneath it gets eroded out. So yeah, pretty cool. Oh, and speaking of mudstone and shale, in the pocket, CJRB shale. Hell yeah. Okay, so right here, great little plaque talking about how environments change due to weathering and erosion. This area during the Jurassic would have been flat. We're talking rivers, floodplains, not a whole lot of mountains and stuff around here. And now, as you can see, that is not really the case. But I wish that they would have mentioned tectonics here, because not all of this was done purely by erosion and weathering, right? This area used to be a lot lower in elevation too, and this land has been brought up. It's been uplifted. in the more recent geologic past, and that contributes a lot to increasing erosion and weathering, but also forming these highlands. And here's exactly what I was talking about with the tectonics. So, okay, here we go. So let's look a little bit at our geology here. This Lookout Hill, that's Morrison Formation. That's right there. Morrison, I mentioned it a couple of times on the channel. Very, very classic, prolific Jurassic unit. Split into a bunch of different groups. You can see here, these kind of greenish slopes here. These might be Brushy Basin member. These are all paleosols, which is basically like fossilized soil. You can think of it in a way. Yeah, here's the Somerville right here. Burrow Canyon, and Entrada Sandstone. We've seen this in Utah, the Kayenta, the Wingate, Chinley, that's Triassic. And up here, we've got our Paleozoic rocks down here. Oh, here's our Menko Shale. That's Cretaceous. It's going to be Western Interior Seaway. Mesa Verde group, that's going to be kind of the same thing. That's going to include things like our Dakota Sandstone and stuff like that. But right here, you can see this Redlands Fault. We've got this uplift, and this has been dropped down. We've got kind of this disjoint. What's the word I'm looking for? Not disjointment, maybe disjointment. I don't know. But you can see here that basically these rocks, instead of being horizontal through here now, they've fallen down into here, uplifting what is now the Colorado Monument. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, again, this focuses, like the actual words here focus a lot on erosion and stuff, which is really important for exposing rock layers, but this right here is the most important word on this little diagram is uplift. Uplift. With this normal fault here, uplift. But whatever. All right, so this is talking about two different rivers that are exposed in the sandstones across from us right now. Fruta Champsa, that's awesome. Here's a little display of that. So let's see, what are we looking at here? Right here is the Croc channel, and then these kind of lighter sandstones, the Ceratosaurus channel. So these are different. It could be a river, like kind of changing direction and stuff, but basically you're going to have floodplains between those two. Here's some stuff I was talking about: ripple marks, cross bedding. This helps us determine paleo flow, which is these paleo current directions, as well as stratigraphic up and down. So if you're looking at a bunch of rocks and you want to know, okay, which way points up, basically. If you find ripple marks or things like that, you can tell. Sweet. Dude, I always get excited when I'm looking at the Morrison Formation. So here's that Brushy Basin member. Mudstones, scour sandstones. Yeah, this is where a bunch of dinosaurs are found. Not just in Colorado, but here you can see the full extent of the Morrison. So it goes down to New Mexico, over Arizona, up through Utah, Wyoming. It's pretty prolific. It's all over the place. Salt wash member. Cool.
Takes up a big chunk of New Mexico.
Here's a strat column. And by the way, when you're looking at a geologic strat column like this, you can see here in the legend, this talks about the different types of lithologies represented by each member. But typically, this way, vertically, shows you how much or how thick that unit is. The Brushy Basin member is pretty thick. And if you look at it this way, it tells you how resistant it is to erosion. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. See, we are now standing near the contact between the Brushy Basin and the salt wash. Sweet. You can pause and read this. I think it's pretty important. This is about conservation of the environment. Let's take a look at these cryptobiotic soils real quick. Can you kind of see that crust? It's better out there, but we're not going to walk out there. We're going to be respectful. Am I good or am I good? I told you that was Brushy Basin, didn't I?
Yeah.
So yeah, something I should have talked about a little bit, and we can talk about here, is these clays, especially this popcorn texture, which is really, really classic of this area. But the illite clay, smectite clays, you can actually see right here, smectite, whoops, above, and illite below this little, yeah, right, let's see here, whoops. Right there, that little line right there, exactly. Beautiful. We're pretty impressed with our Jurassic snake here, who's got arms and legs, because snakes are essentially just modified lizards.
I really vibe with him, and I think I would keep him as a pet because he's like cute.
He's pretty cute. I agree. I agree. Nice. Look at how green that stuff is right there. It's crazy. Alright, so this sign is pretty hard to decipher, but somewhere here there should be a rock that has an Allosaurus vertebra in it. We just got to keep our eyes peeled, see if we can find it. Allosaurus is the most common predatory dinosaur in the Morrison. I actually say that on here. Next to things like Ceratosaurus, Torvosaurus. Allosaurus outnumbered those guys by dozens and dozens of specimens. Hundreds even. Let's see if we can find that bone. Alrighty, Burgum spotted it. There it is. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Alright, this got me kind of excited. Right there, see this kind of zigzag thing right there? Those are crossbeds. Those are sedimentary structures from this river channel. So we could go up there, we can take some measurements, we look at that and figure out the direction of flow. Pretty sweet. Alright, so right here, right there, is a mold of a dinosaur leg. So a fossil of a bone came out of that little crevice there. Fossils come in, well, more than just these varieties, but there's two, for the sake of our purpose, for the purpose of our conversation right now, two kinds of fossil, a cast and a mold. The Allosaurus vertebra that we looked at just a little bit ago was a cast, and that's where the bone itself is replaced with minerals that take the shape of that bone, and a mold is the impression that that bone leaves in the surrounding rocks. So mold, the actual fossil, has been taken out, leaving an imprint, and the cast is, I mean, the actual fossil's a loose term, but you guys get what I mean. And that right there is from a Camarasaurus. Alright, that was a nice little hike. Probably made so much longer by the fact that I just had to stop and run my mouth about everything. But let's go ahead and go on, get on with the rest of our day, go visit some family, and then hopefully hit a museum. Alright, so now we're parked at the mouth of this little canyon just south of Mac. Well, kind of southeast, my bad, of Mac. And I believe we're standing in Cretaceous rocks. This is probably some of our Mesa Verde group. We've got these sandstones. We can see we've got some beds coming through here, up to there. Sandstone capping the tops. And then we've got these shales out through here that I'm thinking are Menkos. So we're gonna go and look for some invertebrate fossils here, hoping for an ammonite or two. This should be pretty fun.
Ain't those the like curly?
Yeah, they're cephalopods. What are these rocks? Gypsum. Huh.
What the hell is that? That's slightly unsettling.
Oh, that is... yeah, that's a little bit disturbing.
That's with the abandoned fire pit.
Onward.
We're definitely gonna get some type of demon curse out here.
There's a little trail here. It's interesting. Keep an eye out in that gully for some stuff. You used to come out to this area fossil hunting with my mom when I was a little kid. She'd bring the family out here, and used to find some good fossils in the sandstone, mostly bivalves, clams and oysters and stuff, but found a couple of ammonite fragments. My mother and my grandma have both found complete ammonites, which are pretty awesome. So we're gonna see if we can outdo them today. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. See those shales? And then right there, that little line there, like an oxidation boundary or difference between clays.
What type of rock are we looking for that will have the fossil actually like what's the
Well,
type of rock we're looking for?
I have, like I said, I found the bivalve fossils in the sandstone. I think the ammonite that Grandma has is also sandstone, but the shale, the Menko shale, is actually really, really well known for its ammonite fossils. So we can find a little bit of fossils in everything, I'm thinking. Let's see what you find.
Cool green rock.
Yep, that's some shale. Let's start looking. So right here on this piece of sandstone, we've got evidence of bioturbation. Basically, these are little tunnels that were dug in the sand by worm-like creatures. Also found some more gypsum, some selenite. Pretty cool. Look how sparkly that is on top. But we're still hunting for fossils. Well, body fossils. Those that bioturbated rock right there, that's ichnofossils. But we're looking for body fossils. So Brigham found this. That is petrified wood here in this sandstone. So that's pretty cool. So we found a few more plant fossils coming out of this sandstone here. And actually, look at those. Oh, you can't see because of the glare. Look at these sedimentary structures. This is beautiful. And what this reminds me of a lot with the fossils, with the structures, is a formation I've done work on in New Mexico called the Crevasse Canyon Formation. And basically, it's deltaic sediments. So you have these ocean deltas where a river is emptying into the sea, and you're depositing these massive sandstones, and you've got plant fossils in them because you're dragging stuff from the continent to the beaches, basically. Very cool. And the sandstones are up higher. Right here we still got the shales and stuff, so we've got deeper marine, and then they're shallowing out as we get higher and younger. We've also been seeing a bunch of these around here, varying sizes. These are little iron concretions in the sandstone, and those can actually also be indicators of a deltaic environment. Actually, I want to find a piece of rock that has really good sedimentary structure so I can explain to you guys what I see when I look at these sedimentary structures. Okay, so this rock's got, it's not as good as that one I saw back there, but it'll do. Okay, so we can see here that we've got these features that kind of meet in a V right here, and they kind of go out at an angle. These are tangential force sets, and we can see here that they're kind of changing direction throughout this rock. And between those tangential force sets are some cross beds. Now, what this tells me is that we had tides going in and out right here, and that's where we're getting that bi-directional bedding through there. So that's what's making me think, deltaic environment. Beautiful out here. Brigham has been on a roll finding petrified wood. And do you still have that leaf?
Yeah.
Let me see that leaf. Yeah, not the greatest one I've ever seen, but actually not bad. I haven't found any leaves. I found some wood, but no leaves. You can see here, That's a leaf right in there. You can kind of see a little bit of texture of it. And on the back is a bigger leaf. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But I think we're gonna get back to the truck and we're gonna move somewhere that's got, I mean, we're getting a lot of this stuff on the top is that deltaic stuff. When we see these big boulders falling down, I think we're gonna go a little more that way. See if we can find some more marine stuff. Of course, all this down here is probably marine-ish, or actually I might be turned around a little bit. We might actually be looking at down here some terrestrial mudstones, maybe even Jurassic-y stuff. And then we've got our Cretaceous stuff on top. I have not looked at a geologic map for this area right now because I like going in places blind and seeing what I can figure out, but we'll look at a geologic map here in a little bit. Beautiful out here though. Absolutely beautiful. Here's some seashells, some Cretaceous bivalves. Very, very cool. See if we can find some good stuff. Right here, there's a big oyster shell. Let's see what's on this rock. Not a whole lot. Here's a cool one. Alright, there's another fairly cool one. Oh, this guy. It's a big one. He's in there upside down. Yeah, look at that. There's another big piece of a shell. Oyster beds is what we're in right now. All right, no ammonites, but we didn't look that long. We don't have all the time in the world to waste, so I'm regretfully pulling myself away. We're gonna go to a museum, and then we'll head home. All right, so here we are at the Dinosaur Journey Museum. I think I call it the Journey Through Time Museum. That's not what it's called. It says Dinosaur Journey Museum in Fruita, Colorado. This museum just is dripping with nostalgia for me. This museum is my childhood, and it's probably due to this museum that I took such a love in or with the earth sciences. I've always liked dinosaurs when I was a kid, but I used to come to this museum all the time and just immerse myself in learning. And they do digs. And when I can't remember how old I was, but when I was a youngster, I went on a paleontological dig with this museum. And while on that dig, I unearthed the top of an Apatosaurus femur. And I think watching everyone come together to reveal this massive bone, to dig it out of the rock that it was in, I don't know. It never left me. It just seated itself in my brain. And here I am, years later, still continuing down the same journey. So let's go into this museum. Enough of my rambling.
Child slavery inspired your life?
It was child slavery. It was free labor, so let's do it. This here is one of my favorite pictures ever. This is the skull of Eoraptor, and I think this hand belongs to Paul Serrano, who's the guy that discovered it in South America, who, growing up, he was my hero. Other kids like Spider-Man, Superman, Paul Serrano, he was my guy. I just absolutely love this picture. It's an X-ray. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. I love it. Oh, and there's a Mosasaurus, which is a juvenile prosauropod. Oh. Okay, let's go in.
A dinosaur welder.
Oh, this is new since last time I was here. That is a mounted Ceratosaurus. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so cool. There used to be a different exhibit. This is better.
I love this museum so much.
There's a Camarasaurus up top. Yeah, they had this before, which was like pieces of the Stratosaurus, but now they've got the full mount, which is awesome. It's a mid-size, kind of basal theropod. One of my favorites. I love Ceratosaurus. So cool. He's got such a recognizable head. You see here he's got huge teeth, absolutely massive in proportion to his body. And he's also got these, whoa, horns on his head, a crest on his nose, and then 2 horns above his orbits. Or I guess slightly in front of his orbits. Hey, there's a Dryosaurus. Oh, that's so cool. Ooh, there's some little baby dinosaur bits. I love this piece of rock. We have very pronounced mud cracks and footprints belonging to Gralator, which was probably a little crocodilomorph, maybe a dinosauriform. But look at that. Ichnofossils actually get their own names, just like body fossils. You know, Dryosaurus altus, that's a scientific identity for these fossils. Ichnofossils, trace fossils, also get scientific identities. So Gralator is not the animal that made the tracks, it is the name given to these fossil tracks. And here we've got a hadrosaur foot, a theropod foot. This is Cretaceous, right? Yeah, the Hunter Canyon Formation. This Tyrannosaurus leg used to be in the front. Oh, that brings back memories. That's so cool. And here we have, oh, I think this might be, is this a biff? What is this? Yeah, this is a biff, which is a banded iron formation. Yeah, they don't have that labeled, but yeah, that's a very, very old rock. That's awesome. Camptosaurus, underrated dinosaur, kind of like the deer of the Jurassic. It's very, very cool. Pelvis bones, I believe. Yep. Pelvis of an Apatosaurus. Ooh. That's so cool. Here's some bird tracks. These are from the Pleistocene. Belonging to a heron. Very cool. Utah raptor. I was telling my brother when I came here as a kid, this guy didn't have feathers. They redid him. He was just scaly, and he was animatronic. You'd press a button, he'd thrash around, and I always thought it was a lot of fun. I loved how gory this display is. Gastonia. For a long time, this was my favorite ankylosaur. Related to Ankylosaurus, obviously, and also Talarurus. So shout out to Vostede guys, right? Maybe soon they'll come out with a Gastonia model. Here's some Eocene reptiles. These are crocodile bits, a bunch of stuff. So here's that crocodile humerus. This right here is that armor plate called an osteoderm. This kind of looks like another crocodile bit. Maybe it's a wishbone from a bird. Very cool. Very, very cool. Is it working today? I remember one time when I was younger, we came here with Grandma and Grandpa, and me and my sister and Grandma were on here, and it started shaking to simulate an earthquake, and Grandma fell over.
That's terrible.
Oh. And this thing used to move around too. It's kind of weird with that thing not going. Alright, I think we're going to do all these quizzes around the museum. True or false, horses live in North America continuously since approximately 50 million years ago? False. Horses evolved in the Americas, but they exited probably via the Bering Land Bridge about, 12,000 to 10,000 years ago. Nice. I also always recognize fossils from the Green River Formation because we've got a bunch of these at the museum I work at, especially the fish. That's a pretty It's a pretty incredible turtle. Look at that. Mammoth femur. Oh, here's a gar fossil. Yeah, we've got a gar. Ours is a little bit better. But that's cool. A bunch of stuff all about Allosaurus. Talking about how it was the most common predator in the late Jurassic. We talked about that earlier this morning during the hike. And here's their Allosaurus mount. Now I love this guy. Again, classic memories for me. But I also love that he's kind of what I call a retrosaur. See the way he's standing here with his tail down, dragging the ground? In the 1920s and stuff, this is how, well, I guess even before then, but during the early years of dinosaur science, this is how scientists recreated theropods. Stand on their two legs here, their hind legs, with their tail on the ground as for balance. This is not how they stood in real life. Their tail was held out straight and acted as a counterbalance. In order to bend like this, they would have to break their back, essentially. You can also see here his hands are a little bit incorrect. They are pronated. Theropod dinosaurs could not pronate their hands. So actually this hand is correct here. It's facing inward in like a clapping position, so palms facing each other. This one is wrong though because he's bending it up. So it should be like this, not like this. Dinosaur hands moved this way, not this way. And this poor Dilophosaurus used to spit water at you, a la Jurassic Park. But yeah, he's not animatronic at the moment. Here's an Allosaurus skull. You can see, actually, we have those preorbital crests, just like on the Ceratosaurus. No nasal crest though, and notice how much smaller the teeth are in comparison. A much larger head than the Ceratosaurus head, but even then his teeth are very, very small. Looking at him from the front, unlike later theropods such as Tyrannosaurus, or I guess just Tyrannosaurus in general, Allosaurus did not have binocular vision. If you look at a Tyrannosaurus from here, we'll see that his head is more T-shaped and he's wider out here. The back of his head is quite a bit wider, making his eyes point forward. So unlike what people would have you believe in Jurassic Park, T-Rex actually had excellent eyesight. Camarasaurus. Alright, let's see here. Let's see if I can answer these questions. Which of the openings in my skull held my eye on each side? This one right here. This is the eye hole. Looking at my teeth, what type of food would I eat? Plants or meat? Plants. And actually, wouldn't even chew them. Just rake them off of the trees and swallow them whole. And then sauropod dinosaurs would swallow stones into their stomach called gastroliths, or gizzard stones, that would grind up the food as the muscles in their stomach churned. This is Pachyrhinosaurus. Oh, I love ceratopsians. These are my favorite group of dinosaurs. And up there is a Triceratops. Kind of missing his brow horns, but very cool. It's a stalagmite, I know. I called this a stalactite. It's a stalagmite because it's growing up. How dare I? Velociraptor, again, unlike Jurassic Park would have you think, these guys were not massive creatures. What does Dilophosaurus mean? It means double-crested lizard. Yep, two-crested lizard. Man, I'm so good. Oh, look at that pterosaur. Bet that's a pteranodon. Oh, this is actually a pretty good little poster. I like this here. Yeah. Very, very cool. And this drawing right here, I bet you anything was done by Robert Backer. That looks a lot like his art style. Oh, I've actually made a video talking about this, which was I did a research project on the Chicxulub impact crater. Actually, I did a research project on the iridium layer that's exposed in Raton, New Mexico, but it all goes back to the Chicxulub crater. And I made a video that I posted on YouTube about that, just kind of randomly. So, there we go. Oh, look, here's what I was talking about with T-Rex. See how his eyes point forward? I'm staring at him head on, and he's looking right back at me. Very, very cool. An old retro Triceratops. Reminds me of a Charles Knight painting with the scoots on the back, the dragging tail, the sloping body. Classic. Oh, and look at this. This is actually potentially one of my favorite dinosaurs. That's a hard question, but this is, I often say Diabloceratops is my favorite dinosaur when asked. It's a smaller ceratopsian, but I just love it. You can see Triceratops skull, Diabloceratops. This Triceratops here, this model is way undersized. It's closer in size to what Diabloceratops would have been like in real life, but yeah, Triceratops was massive, massive. Do they have? Yeah, Diabloceratops. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. This is kind of a controversial thing here. So this big purple piece is a vertebra from an animal called Amphisilus, which we do not have the bone for anymore. This was based off of a specimen that was collected in the 1800s by, I think, Edward Drinker Cope. And he drew some drawings, made some measurements of it, and then the bone was lost or destroyed in the years since. Here's a typical Apatosaurus. Now, this is from an animal that's about 75 feet long. This is an absolutely ridiculous size for a dinosaur, and it's actually unbelievable. Anyways, this particular bone has been reassigned to a new dinosaur genus and species called Marapunosaurus fragilis, and it is considered to be maybe a rebecasaurid diplodocid, which is like a short-necked sauropod, and so that does change the size estimates quite a bit. If we base this on a diplodocus or a diplodocid like Diplodocus, we come up with estimates like 200 feet long. That's insane. That's crazy. If we're estimating its size based on rebecasaurids, we get something still quite large, but not that large at all. And actually, Amphisilus, or Amphisilus, whatever, has actually been assigned to a different group of fossils, Amphisilus altus, which are kind of mid-sized sauropods. That's a whole thing to get into. Taxonomy is crazy. We're not going to go into it too much more here. Apatosaurus weighed as much as how many Big Macs? How much does a Big Mac weigh? I'm going to say Apatosaurus is, I don't know, let's go with like 60 tons. $600,000 Big Macs. Oh, dang it. I missed one. Apatosaurus skull. Very, very cool. Morapelta, which is another awesome ankylosaur. Ankylosaurs are just so cool. This one's interesting because it's actually from the Jurassic period. Most ankylosaurs are known from the Cretaceous. This one's a Jurassic ankylosaur. Yeah. Knight of the Jurassic. That's awesome. Yeah. What's in here? Tail spikes from a Stegosaurus. Nasty. And I love this Stegosaurus mount. I love how he's like rearing up a little bit. Might be rearing up to get a better angle on some vegetation to munch. Might be rearing up to intimidate a rival. Maybe there's a Allosaurus about to attack him and he's trying to make himself look bigger. I don't know. Man, that's a cool mount. Oh, and here's a Stegosaurus plate. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, and I love these posters here. They're really, really cool. Saurophaganax maximus. It's an interesting theropod. We've actually got one mounted in the New Mexico Natural History Museum. Another Camarasaurus skull. And a juvenile Camarasaurus. Here's our boy, Frutodens. I remember when it was discovered, it was touted as the smallest herbivorous dinosaur in the world. I still have newspaper clippings and National Geographic article clippings from when it was discovered because I was so ecstatic. I'm not sure if it's still the smallest herbivorous dinosaur we know of, but Cool little guy. Heterodontosaurid. Oh, that's awesome. Here's some Chinley group fossils. I work a lot with the Chinley group at my museum with my field work. It's pretty prolific, and in New Mexico we've got fantastic Triassic fossils. So a lot of this stuff is things that I've worked with in the past. This is actually one of my favorite dinosaurs too, Falcarius utahensis. This is a Therizinosaurid. These are actually herbivorous theropods, which are pretty cool. Yep, Therizinosauroids. Awesome. Well guys, we finished up at the museum, and Burgham's in the bathroom right now. We're at a rest stop here at Grizzly Creek, just outside of Glenwood, Colorado. I decided I had to run down to the river, take a look at some of these rocks. Right here we got a bunch of igneous and metamorphic rocks. Let's go over here. Some very classic gneiss. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, I'm so funny. And then look at this big old granite pegmatite. Got some huge potassium feldspar crystals. Got some massive mica books. Look at that. There's a big piece of muscovite. There's a thick mica book. Gorgeous rock. Gorgeous, gorgeous rock. Well, we made it home. Can't hardly see us, but we're back. It's about 9:15 in the evening. I'm not sure if that even helps. You've got to get up and go to school tomorrow.
Yep.
I've got to get up and drive another 6 hours tomorrow. But what was your favorite part of this whole adventure? I'm glad you came, by the way. This was really fun. Spent a couple days with you. I don't get to see my siblings that much anymore, so this was awesome.
I'm glad I got to come. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful experience. My favorite part was honestly probably I'm not as much of a knife guy, so I really more enjoyed the hiking and camping aspect of the trip.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that was my favorite part of the trip.
I agree. I enjoyed a lot of that too. This is going to be one heck of a video when I get it all edited together, but let's go inside. Let's get some damn sleep. All right, guys, before I hit the road, I've got to show you what my brother did with all those stickers he got. He plays the clarinet, and so he decorated his clarinet case, and I guess this is where he keeps his reeds. He also got this Boker coin, which is kind of cool. Of course, he got one of the penguins that they were giving out at the QSP table. He was playing with that the entire way driving back. And here's all his stickers on his clarinet box. Oh man, I think he fit all of them on here. So this one and this one he already had. I gave him these stickers a long time ago. And here's his new additions. And I don't even think this is all of them, to be quite honest with you. Anything look familiar? Well, we're in northern New Mexico right now, just south of Chama, a little north of Abiquiu. And these red rocks, as you see kind of at the bottom here, we've got some buff rocks on top. This is some of our Chinle Formation. This is some of the same rockiness we were seeing there in southern Colorado. A little more vegetation here in northern New Mexico, but yeah, same rocks. Well, maybe not exactly the same rocks. I'm not sure if we saw any Chinle rocks while we were in Utah. I think most of what we saw was Wingate, Kayenta, and Entrada sandstone. But the Chinle is out there in Utah, and actually the Wingate and Entrada can be found in New Mexico too, and the Kayenta too. So all those Triassic, Jurassic, Mesozoic rocks, they're pretty classic to the Four Corners states. So we are just now dropping into Abiquiu. Look at all these rocks around us. This looks like dinosaur country to me, and indeed it is. In fact, some of the world's best Triassic formations are out here. And I mean best Triassic formations as in the diversity of life and abundance of fossils that they preserve. Out there is Abiquiu Lake. I need to do more Gideon Stuff Adventures videos out here because I genuinely love it out here. It is incredible. There's so much to see. It's stunningly beautiful, as you can see for yourself right here. And this is also one of the areas that I would consider kind of home. I did a lot of running around Abiquiu in my youth. Abiquiu Lake there is where I did my senior ditch day. Me and the rest of the class, we always go to the lake and jump off the cliffs, have some parties out there and stuff. Beautiful, beautiful area. I'm not sure if I'm going to stop at the turnoff for Ghost Ranch, so I'll talk about Ghost Ranch right now. Ghost Ranch, or the Ghost Ranch Quarry, is known for producing hundreds and hundreds of skeletal remains of a dinosaur called Coelophysis, which is the New Mexico state fossil. It's a really, really important dinosaur too because it's an early theropod, and it's one of the most well-known dinosaurs of all time because of the abundance of fossils from Ghost Ranch. Ghost Ranch is also known for crocodilians, adiosaurs, phytosaurs, other dinosaurs, Demonosaurus, things like that. Yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff in this area. A lot of good stuff in this area. We're not going to be able to cover it all today, but hopefully soon, I'll make a video about some of the cool stuff around here. All right, guys, funny story. I'm going to roll down the window real quick. Hear that? So I'm at a speedway here in, well, not Albuquerque, but Bernalillo, which is basically just mini Albuquerque. At the speedway, playing opera music, which is kind of interesting. Well, I stopped here to grab a snack and use the bathroom. Go in, get the bathroom key, and it's on kind of this long baton thing. It's a handle for a window washer. But what do you call those? Anyways, so I go out here to go to the bathroom, and there's this guy who's on the ground at the corner, and I didn't think much of it. You know, homeless people are all over the place, unfortunately. And so I go in to the bathroom. Well, I'm in there, and I hear yelling and screaming going on outside, and a female saying, "Hey, you gotta go. I'm gonna call the cops on you. I'm gonna call the cops on you. You gotta get out of here." And I'm like, okay, maybe that homeless guy's causing some trouble. And then someone starts kicking on that door. Someone really starts kicking on that bathroom door, so, you know, I finish up real quick. Anyways, I come out of the bathroom, and sure enough, this homeless guy and the lady that was here behind the counter at the gas station, they're getting into it. They're having a little bit of an argument. And I got there, and I just kind of try to mediate things. I'm like, hey, calm down. What's going on here? And this guy, he says, "I've been needing to take a shit. And she says, "No, you've been out here forever, just kicking things and pushing stuff over. You've got to leave. And sure enough, there's a trash can that had been like tipped over somewhere. So I guess he'd been here for a while, causing problems. And he says, "I promise, I just need to shit." And of course, he's spewing obscenities at this lady and at me too, now that I've injected myself in the situation. And I'm trying to move us kind of around to the front of the gas station so that me and this lady can go back inside. And he makes a grab for the bathroom key, which again is attached to this baton, this stick that I'm holding. And I pull it away from him, and the lady starts screaming, like, don't let him get it. He will hit us. And so we're moving around towards the front of the gas station. I'm holding this thing above my head. This guy's kind of grabbing for it. And all the while, classical music is playing. And so we finally get inside the gas station. And we go, she goes behind the counter. I give her the stick, and she puts it up on the shelf. And this guy's just standing outside, spitting and screaming. And she calls the police, and now I'm headed out. And I'm assuming they're going to be here shortly. He disappeared. He's nowhere to be seen. They're probably not going to catch him, but wow. That was interesting. Well, guys, your boy had to stop for another bathroom break. Quite unfortunately, I decided to get a gas station burrito earlier today. Why I decided to have this sudden and terrible lapse in judgment, I can't say. I don't know what I was thinking, and I'm going the wrong way. I can't even think straight. But while I'm here, I want to tell an interesting story. You know, I've also been drinking you can't even see that. I've been drinking a Ghost while I've been on the road. Great for keeping you awake, but yeah, the caffeine in there can really run through you. And you know what? I think I'm going to go back up where there is good light to tell this story. Okay, so we were at the Walking Sands rest area just north of Socorro, New Mexico. And a few years ago, I had a very interesting experience here. I was driving back from college to visit my folks, and my truck died just north of Socorro. Just quit on me. Well, long story short, I figured out that I could get it going again, drive for a little bit, it'd die, I could get it going again, drive for a little bit. I make it to this rest stop, which I knew it was here, and so I was like, I'll make it to that rest stop, pull over, get off the interstate, and everything will be okay. Well, I didn't have any phone service, and it was actually late at night, or kind of getting to be late at night, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to sleep in my truck here tonight, and then tomorrow I will call for help, AAA or something like that. So I did that. Pulled over, it's actually on the other side of the road right now, and went to sleep. Early that next morning, about 5:45, I'm awoken by someone yanking at my door handle on my truck. I'm in my back seat, and my feet are pointed towards the driver's side back door. And someone is at that door yanking on this door handle furiously. And so I kind of wake up, I sit up, and I'm looking, and it's this guy, this kind of like middle-aged white dude out there, and he's just yanking on my door handle. And I think he was saying something. For the life of me, I cannot remember what it was. But then he starts hitting my window with his fist like this. I am terrified. I'm shitting my pants, absolutely shitting my pants. Now, I was only 19 at the time. I did not have a firearm with me at the time, but I did have a big old kukri knife, and I was holding on to that thing for dear life. I was like, if this guy tries something. Well, he wanders off. The sun is rising. I did not get a look at this guy until later when the sun started rising. He wanders off for a little bit. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know if my truck is going to start or anything, so I'm just sitting there in the back seat. He comes back a few minutes later, starts pulling on that door handle again. Eventually, I guess he just got tired, and he went and he got into a little gray minivan, and away he drove. And that was that. And it was really weird. I have no idea what was going on there. Maybe it's something innocent. Maybe he needed help with something and he was trying to get my attention. I don't know. But part of me has always thought, you know, what if that guy was like some kind of serial killer? I don't know. Really, really weird experience. If you're wondering how I resolved this whole issue, I ended up walking across the road and then up a little ways till I got service. Called a friend of mine who knew someone in Socorro. They came pick me up, took me back. I got a new battery, and that was that. But yeah, this rest area itself is actually really, really nice. They've got some awesome little rest areas like these picnic tables, these little shelters that are up on these raised platforms. But yeah, that was kind of a scary experience. All right, guys, that was a lot. That was a lot, but hopefully you enjoyed it. This is probably going to be the longest video I've ever made. Maybe tied for the Dimco Free Reign review, but I split that into 2 parts. I'm going to try and keep this one as one video. Yeah. Knife or blade show review content. Gosh, it's so late. I'm so tired. My thoughts on Blade Show. More footage from Blade Show. I did not put all my Blade Show footage in this video, by the way, guys. Oh, gosh, I've got so much Blade Show footage. But that'll be coming in a different video soon, so keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys enjoy it. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to my channel members here. Huge shout out to them. I love these guys. If you want to become a channel member, there's a link down below. It's terrible trying to plug my memberships at the end of a 2-hour long video, but here we are. So buttons are below. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. Until next time, I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.